About checking out Corner. Y'all, please go check out that Truckin' Chub Z, man. The dude is and especially when him and Shad get on there. Him and Shad got a chemistry, bro. It's almost like peaches and herb, bro. They got this thing going. Yeah.
Yo, what up with it, y'all? What's going on with everybody? Y'all already know what time it is, man. Welcome to it, man. Fans Point of View with your host, Chad and Truckin' Chubby. Y'all know how my co-host giving it up, man. Y'all know he be here. There it is. There he is. My guy. Chad, how you doing, brother? How you doing?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
Man, I'm all right, man. I can't complain, man. I can't call it, man. You know, man. I'm all right. Everything running around and everything. What's going on, South Coast Kane? What's up? I see you out there, dog. Thank you for always supporting, man. Make sure you hit that share link, man. Gotta jump up in here one day with us, man. You dig? I would like to get all of y'all Hurricanes fans. Hey, Auntie in the building. Thank you for coming through support. Make sure y'all share the link and everything. But I would like to get all y'all true Hurricanes fans, the way that y'all bring that content together, man. I gotta get y'all together one time, man, to drop that real Hurricanes talk, man. And it's not like y'all, dog them or anything. You know what I mean? Y'all really love y'all team. Y'all are true diehards of the team, and y'all gonna give a fair analysis of the team. Everything put together. And look, I take my hat off to y'all for that, for what y'all do as far as the Hurricanes, man. I really do, man, because there's not that many people out here who are authentic in their takes. It's always a bias. It's either I totally hate this team, or I like this team so much that I'm gonna just hype up every little thing they do. And y'all are the perfect balance of it all when it comes all together. You know what I'm saying? It's like the perfect gumbo, But I dig it though. I dig it for real. Yeah, no doubt, South Coast Kane. Y'all give it up out there, man. Y'all do, man. Round of applause for y'all boys, man. But so I ain't got that long of a show today for y'all. We don't, man. We got families to tend to and everything else. We got business going on. So we're gonna try to keep the shows at least. I'm trying to keep them at an hour. You know what I mean? Under that, cool, but at hours tops. So I'm trying to do. So we're gonna start off with these comments. He hit me up and said, I want to talk about. I remember you hit me up, bro, and you said you want to talk about what Shaq said. He was dominant, right? So I looked and I'm like, man, I cannot find the video. But the video that I did find was none other than the great Kobe Bryant giving him his flowers. And I said, hey, let's use that one. So I'm gonna play this clip and then we're gonna get to talking about it. All right.
Is how good of a player he was. Most dominant player I've ever seen. And the thing that was most impressive about is how good of a player he was. Most dominant player I've ever seen. And the thing that was most impressive to me is that he's such a fun, outgoing guy. Loves to tell jokes. Loves to have fun with his teammates.
Let me run that back one more time for the folks that didn't hear.
Is how good of a player he was. Most dominant player I've ever seen. And the thing that was most impressive to me is that he's such a fun, outgoing guy. Loves to tell jokes, loves to have fun with his teammates, practical jokes. But before the tip-off, something happens. The switch goes.
Now, look. Y'all can have y'all opinions on whatever y'all want out there, or try to say what y'all want to say about Shaq not being the most dominant player. But I tell you what, I am not the super duper basketball aficionado or anything like that, or connoisseur of basketball. But when Kobe Bryant tells you that this guy in 2017, that Shaquille O'Neal is the most dominant player that he's ever seen, that he ever played with, that's valid, bro. I don't care what nobody say. He was you. He got stamped by Kobe Bryant. I don't care what nobody else says. Period, bro. Period. You dig? But that's what he said, though. You know what I mean? And I know you wanted to touch on that, so I'm gonna let you go ahead and cook, bro. You got the rings. Go ahead, do what you do.
My bad for the I guess the lack of full communication, because I wasn't talking about a video, but I'm glad that you found that, because that does kind of help cement, like I said, validate, what Shaq said. What I was kind of referring to is the little situation that him and Shannon Sharp had. And so he sent it was either IG or a tweet at Shannon. And so what stood out to me about that was that he said his objective or his goal was never to be, never try to be the greatest. It was to be the most dominant. And so when I saw that, I immediately thought about Floyd Mayweather. And the reason I thought about Floyd Mayweather Jr., the reason I thought about him is because as much as he accomplished in the boxing ring, for all the money that he's made and all that, the larger majority of boxing people do not feel like he's the greatest of all time. So what Floyd did, which great marketing, because, he has apparel behind it. He just said, look, I'm TBE. I'm the best ever. So to me, the best ever, the greatest ever, greatest and best, those two words are interchangeable to me. So it's like you're saying that you're the greatest, but you're not saying I'm the greatest. I'm just saying I'm the best ever, which is kind of saying the same thing. So when I see Shaq say, well, I was never trying to be the greatest, I'm trying to be the most dominant.
Mm-hmm.
To me, to say that you're the most dominant player meant that you're unstoppable. So when you're unstoppable, to me, that means that you're saying that if I'm the most dominant of all time, then I got to be saying that I feel like I should be in the GOAT category. But the thing about Shaq, and people may say Shaq is dumb, he goofy, but I think, again, similar to Floyd Mayweather, strategic play. If I say I'm the most dominant, then you don't have to start saying, oh, let's start comparing Shaq's career to Michael Jordan or LeBron or even Kobe to a lesser extent, because we know how Shaq is. Shaq gets a little sensitive, he gets a little bit into his feelings. And so I don't think Shaq actually wants to be put into that light, because then you got to start asking questions, because the thing about this GOAT debate is people start cutting deep. They start saying, they'll start saying, oh, well, look what you did with Boston. And look what you did. You were on the back shelf in Miami. All this stuff like this. You were out of shape with the Lakers and, all this stuff. So Shaq has been able to shield himself from that to say, oh, I'm the most dominant, right? But in reality, the way I look at it is like, if you're saying you're the most dominant of all time, then to me, you're really saying I should be in this GOAT category, this GOAT debate, but I'm not gonna put myself in it. And to me, I don't know how people, and again, I may be interpreting it wrong, but this is the way I look at it, because for to say Michael Jordan is the GOAT, Michael Jordan was dominant. People talk about how dominant, how competitive Mike was. And just this little clip right here, Kobe said, what did Kobe say? Right before the tip off, something goes off.
Mm-hmm.
So that means that you are already in that mindset that, look, I want to go out here and be the best player. And arguably from 2000 up to maybe when the Detroit Pistons dethroned the Lakers, Shaq probably was the best player in the NBA. So I do think that's a prerequisite for this GOAT debate, that you had to actually be the best player, not just for a year, but for a length of time. Now, what is the minimum cutoff for that length of time? Yeah. I don't exactly know. But I'm not here for Shaq's antics. You say that you're the most dominant player of all time. You really are campaigning, in my opinion, similar to Floyd Mayweather, that you need to start putting my name up there with the rest. But I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it because I don't want y'all to put my career underneath the light. And we obviously, and everybody knows, Shaq's allowed for himself to get away and
Could you
lost.
respect that a little bit though, bro? Could you respect the fact that he don't want to like put?
No, because Trucking. If you're at that level and you were the best, you got an MVP. For you to say that your objective was never to be the best, yes, it was, because you gave it your all. You went out there, you performed at a high level. Why would you not be? Why play the game if you're not trying to be the best? Why play? Why? I mean, not just the best, but the greatest. Why play? Because the thing of it is like now the comparisons that he has made. You're saying that you're more dominant than Wilt. Okay, at one point in time, Wilt was considered the greatest player in the NBA. You say that you were better than Kareem, more dominant than Kareem. At one point in time, Kareem was the best. Again, all this stuff, comes down to, what era that you were in. And the thing about a big man, and I'll say this in closing, the thing about a big man is people kind of overlook the big man anyway because they're like, oh, well, you just big. I mean, are you really skilled and talented? But if you look at Shaq down there on that block, Shaq had good footwork. He had balance. Could finish over either shoulder. His two biggest Achilles heels was obviously the lack of maybe conditioning and obviously the free throw. But this is my final point. I recently saw an interview with Brian Shaw, and he was on, which this is an old interview. I think it's a year old. He was on Paul George's podcast. Okay. And he said out of his own mouth that Phil Jackson would tell Shaq, like, look, big fella, you work so hard during the season. Just spend the offseason resting up. And when the season starts, get yourself in shape during the season. So essentially, Phil Jackson, in many regards, and incentivized Shaq to not maybe work out as hard as he could in the offseason. So let's just say Phil had the other objective, say, nah, big man, I know you're a little banged up. Take a week or two off and then try to get yourself back in shape. We need the Orlando Magic Shaq back in here. You know what I'm saying? So that's the way I look at it. But again, Shaq, you're not sleep. You want to be in the GOAT debate, but you're not going to bring it up. So you'll just do like Floyd Mayweather. I'm the best ever. I'm the most dominant ever.
Do you think that Shaq's name should come up more when we talking some of the greatest?
Why not?
Okay.
I mean, again, what did Kobe say? The most dominant player he's ever seen. So again, yeah, it should come up. But again, I know if it comes up, Shaq will get sensitive and say, oh, no, don't put me up there. I don't deserve it. These players are better. He try to be humble. But again, you can't be at that level.
Ain't no room to be humble. I get you.
Impossible.
I get you on that. I like that take, bro. I would say, and I agree. I mean, Shaq was a 15-time All-Star, 2-time scoring champ, 4-time NBA champ, 14-time All-NBA. He was the Rookie of the Year in 92-93 season when he came in, 3-time All-Defense, 3-time Finals MVP. You know what I mean? And he made that 75th anniversary team. I mean, so obviously other people look at Shaq like that, but you're right, he won't put himself in that category. Who would you agree?
He's doing it, but he's not doing it.
Right. So would you say that Nikola Jokic is the best big man nowadays?
I mean, I may be a little biased because I like Embiid just because Embiid can score anywhere on the floor. He's a threat at the 3-point line, mid-range. It's just his health. Okay. You know what I'm saying? He just
stay healthy.
He just can't stay healthy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that goes on a factor too. You know what I mean? Yeah. It really does. Your best availability is availability. So
exactly. But with that being said, I'm partial to Embiid, but right now, when you got to factor everything in, health and how you impact the team, and Nikola Jokic is the best big man in the league right now.
Good evening, Max. I see you just jumping there. Good evening, my good people out there, man. Y'all stick around, man.
But you know what, Trucking? That kind of exemplifies what I was saying. So you asked me, was Nikola Jokic the best big man? You didn't ask me, was Nikola Jokic the best player in the league, though, right?
Right.
Because what we do with the big man and the smaller guys is we separate them.
Okay.
And to me, I feel like, no, put them together.
Put them together.
Put them together.
Put them
Because
together.
if you put them together, then the conversation changes, because then people may say, oh, well, no, I don't think Nikola Jokic is a top 5 player in the NBA. And I mean, he is. You got 3
Y'all got y'all pens and y'all pencils ready for this one? I don't mean to cut you, bro. My fault.
No problem. No, I'm just saying, you got 3 MVPs, you doing this. So I mean, yeah, like, nobody wants to say it, but like, you do gotta have a conversation, because everybody want to, like, people like Ant-Man, people like Tatum, people like KD, but like for real, it's really time to have a conversation. Like, but Nikola Jokic is the best player in the NBA.
I mean,
regardless of the size, like you gotta start having a conversation. But I know people that say, well, he doesn't play defense. Well, your favorite offensive player don't play defense, so he fits right in with this new NBA.
So what works better for you? Somebody that's dominant in the beginning of their career and then falling off, or somebody starting off slow and then becoming better later? Because I mean, with Shaq and everything, a lot of people say that the NBA was rougher. It was a lot more physical back in the 90s, early 2000s than what it is now, and I believe that. Now look, like I said, you watch a little bit more film on the older days. I mean, yeah, there was some unnecessary fouls. I'm not talking about that, but I think that they seen the overseas play and how overseas players played for a way longer time than what our stars did. Like, their stars overseas, because the way that they caught the game, they were able to play a lot longer, and their franchises overseas were based around a player, and that player could have been the face of that franchise for 13, 14 years, and without him being injured, or injuries happening to him. And they seen that, and NBA picked up on it, and they adopted some of these rules to try to help with marketability, but in the same sense, air quote, it made the game softer. But I went ahead and I did some fun facts real quick, some stats with Nikola Jokic his first 5 years, and Shaq's first 5 years. So if y'all got y'all pens and y'all pencils ready to try to keep some of these notes down, I advise y'all to try to do that. So in a Joker's first year, it was 2015-16, he was averaging only 10.7 rebounds, 2 assists, and 1 block, shooting 51% from the field. Shaq's first year in the league was 23 points, 14 rebounds, 2 assists, and 4 blocks a game at shooting 56%. Second year for Joker, 17 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 block, shooting 58% from the field. Shaq's second year, 29 points, 13 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 blocks a game, 60% from the field. So you see where I'm going there. You know what I like. I like defense. And Shaq played a lot, well, obviously he played a lot more defense, because defense is something that's not really, it starts shifting that way. All right. It started shifting in that way. And I mean, it goes on to say that Shaq was roughly between in year 3, 4, and 5, 28 points, still 12 rebounds a game, 3 assists a game, and 3 blocks a game. In his third year, he was shooting 58%, fourth year, 57%, fifth year, 56%. Jokic was averaging 20 points a game, 11 rebounds in his third, fourth, and fifth year, with about 7 assists. We'll say that that's fair enough, right? And then his third year, he was shooting 50% from the field. In his fourth year, 51% from the field. In his fifth year, he was shooting 53% in the field. Now, I did that just to say, like, because obviously there was a miscommunication in what I was thinking. So I'm just saying that if Shaq is the most dominant, right?
Yeah, it's no problem, because it's making the conversation better, though.
Right. And they saying that Jokic is the best big nowadays, and he got the MVP, and Shaq, got rocked. Shaq came in the league on fire. He came in here bullying some of the greatest, and he had problems, but you could say that his rookie year was roughly his, you could almost argue that his rookie year was his best defensive year that he played in the NBA. I mean, I'm just saying that off top. I only did 5 years of research. I mean, there's a lot more if y'all want me to go through them. I mean, Shaq, throughout his whole career, y'all, Shaq was averaging 3 blocks a game, like through his whole career. Like, I mean, come on, all right. He plays defense. He just don't score points. He's going to defend that paint. And we talking in the league where y'all know that, you know, there wasn't a lot of threes being shooting. They wasn't shooting a lot of threes, you know. They was going to the paint. It was coming up in there, you know. And look, to say that Jokic is getting better as the years went on. And that's why I asked that question to you. Jokic has been progressing, getting better and better as time goes on. But also, I can sit here and make the argument that they're implementing more rules that's more friendly for the score, because that's what people want to go to games to watch. They want to see basketball players score. They don't want to see their shots get blocked. They don't want to see games 80 to 83. You know, there's no more of that. You know, when you go to betting on a basketball game, you betting the over and under. It's something like, you know, it's crazy, 260 points. Like, are you serious? Are you serious?
Yeah.
Like, I'm just saying. So I just wanted to pull that up because, you know, we play around with the you know, we play around with stats sometimes or whatever. So, you know, I just wanted to give some fun stats out there for some people who may not know, but those who do, you know what I mean? That's a shout out. Just want to shout out everybody out there in the chat, you know what I'm saying, real quick. But yeah, man, I mean, it's so, I mean, the closing with for me with this, I mean, so I think that he has an argument to say that he's the dominant big. I think that Shaq should be mentioned. That's me though. I think he should be mentioned when people are talking about some of the greatest to play the game, because a lot of people in the basketball community that play pro in basketball believe that Shaq should be mentioned. And who am I to say that they're wrong? You know what I mean? I wasn't out there on the floor in basketball, so I'm not going to say that. And I mean, statistically looking, I just read some of the stats. I mean, he came in on fire. He came in. He played a lot. He battled through injuries, took a toll on his body because he wasn't staying in shape. So much other stuff going on. And like you said, I know that came to hamper him. And then he fell off in his career. He did. He degressed tremendously, you know, as time went on. But you can argue, like I said, though, but you can also make the argument for Shaq that he played in roughly the toughest NBA there is today. So, I mean, if you got anything else to add on that, bro, go ahead, bro. I mean, I just gave you the stats. Let you have the floor right now.
No, that's all I kind of wanted, because like I said, when I saw it, I said I immediately thought about Floyd Mayweather. It's like it's the only difference is Floyd is more flamboyant about it. Right? Floyd will tell you, hey, anytime someone puts a microphone in his face, while Shaq is more humble. And what I'm kind of taking away is that the ones that try to be the most humble, they're the ones that, when the cameras are off, they're the main ones saying how we saw like with Rudy Gobert tried Shaq, right? And we saw real Shaq, like, bro, you know what I do to you. So like this, I mean, like that's the type of time that he really on, but you just poked you just gotta poke
that same energy, Shaq. Keep that same energy, Shaq.
He's not gonna
come out and keep that same energy, Shaq. If you think you should be the greatest, campaign and be the greatest. We telling you here on the fans' point of view, Shaq, keep the same thing, bro. Keep that energy up. You got the charisma and everything. There ain't no time to be humble, Shaq. Ain't no time to be humble, Shaq. Come out and do it. Yeah, you got the stats. Nobody care about you falling off later in your career. I know I don't. I mean, that's not gonna stop me from being a Shaq fan. I had Shaq food. I had Shaq shoes out of Walmart. I had a ball. I had the Reeboks. I had, you know what I'm saying? Like, go, come on, Shaq. Keep the same energy, bro. Keep it up. Keep it up. Could be. That's all we saying. That's all we saying. That's all. All right. So I know this is what y'all been waiting for. Our our overrated teams, college football teams, and our underrated college football teams. I went ahead and had the liberty of making slides and everything. I hope they're to y'all liking that. It keeps you peeled to your screen. Hit that like button, hit that share button one time. I don't, you know what I mean? Lay down. Go ahead and do that for me one time. Go ahead, hit that button for us. All right, let me get this up on here because it's. Okay, I gotta switch it the other way. All right, so there you go. There's your overrated team. It's up there on the screen. Floor is yours.
I mean, Utah favorite to win the Pac-12. I'm at the Big 12, and I just think that they they've been a consistent program. Not to take anything away from them, obviously they've been a consistent program. They've during their time in the Big Pac-12, they've beaten the USC's, the Oregons, the teams that are considered to be at the top. But I just do not feel like they should be favored to win the Big 12 this particular year. I don't think they should be. Moving over to the Big 12, there's a different, kind of style of offense, a little bit more wide open, not so much condensed kind of things that, maybe they've seen in the Pac 12, because the Pac 12 to me is kind of a mixed bag. Like Utah is a physical team, no doubt about it. They're a physical team. But I do think that, kind of going over to the Big 12, and again, like I said, they're favored it to win. I'm like, okay, how they favored it over Oklahoma State? How the favorite over like Kansas? You know what I mean? Because it's going to take some adjustment. Don't know. I mean, they got their quarterback returning, but it is what it is. UCF, I believe they're picked to finish 8th in the Big 12.
Mm-hmm.
But odds change. I only looked at one particular odds maker with that. But I do think they made some nice moves in the portal. But mainly, Gus Malzahn, I think he's to be not overly vulgar, but I think he shot his load.
Mm.
I think he already shot it. I think that he may be setting some things up. Obviously, with them, obviously in the Big 12, finally in a power conference, more revenue to go around.
Yeah.
More people are going to be donating. So I do think that he's probably setting a template for the next coach. But as it currently stands, I don't see UCF having that good of a year this year. I know, like I said, this odds maker hasn't picked to finish 8th, but there's some other people that are buzzing about them. And then you got USC, right? They're over under again from this one odds maker I looked at was at 7.5, right? But at the same token, this is Lincoln Riley is considered a top 5 coach in college football, right? But outside of that one particular, his first introductory year at last year was kind of atrocious. And I think this particular year would kind of be along the same. So I actually would I would kind of bet the under, obviously. I was listening to a show that I really, really like, and they were talking about because Michigan gets to play. I think, Michigan plays. No, they don't. No, they don't. I take that back. It was never mind. I take that back because I thought they were saying Michigan was this year, but no, they were talking about Texas, Oregon, and Ohio State. So my bad. But in any regard, USC to me, similar to Notre Dame, they're always overrated. Someone, a USC fan, may say, well, you feel the same thing about Miami. Well, fine. Feel that way. I don't care. I agree. But I do think that this may be a time where it may be getting a little interesting. And it would surprise me or shock me in the next round of NFL coaches if maybe Lincoln Riley doesn't step out the back door.
Wow. Well, I agree. I like that pick, bro. I like those. I like that pick. UCF is it kind of going crazy? Is that fan base kind of going super crazy and their expectations through the roof because of RJ Harvey and the add of Penny Boone? Is that what's going on there?
Yeah, you got KJ Jefferson.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, they made some nice moves. They made some nice moves in the portal. So obviously, the fan base feels like this is going to be, a good team. But again, I just can't. If Gus Malzahn wasn't the head coach, if they had another head coach, then they wouldn't be there. I would have a different team there. But since Gus Malzahn is there, I don't see it.
Fair enough, bro. Fair enough. I dig it. I dig that, bro. And there y'all have it. And look, and I must put a disclaimer out before I start mine. And the simple reason why I must put a disclaimer out before I give y'all my overrated is because, look, they're not my overrated because of the players or anything like that. They're overrated to me because of the expectations from the fan bases and from others, in my opinion, right? You know what I mean? So we got Washington, right? Kellen DeBoer's gone, right? He's out. Kellen DeBoer is out right now. Jad Fish taking over the program from Arizona. Jad Fish did do good in Arizona. I'm not gonna, you know what I'm saying, say nothing bad about that, but I'm gonna get into it. Washington, they finished first, obviously, 14-1. They was 9-0 in the conference in the Pac-12 last year under Kellen DeBoer. They're running up in the national title. I'm sorry. Jad Fish, he led Arizona to 10-3 overall record, 7-2 in the conference. They capped the season off with a bowl win over Oklahoma University. I know they all good, and everybody want to say, well, what's going on there? But 20 of the 22 starters are gone. All right. They are now ranked 130th of 100 out of 134 FBF teams in total in returning production on the offense. Only like 19%, roughly somewhere around there. You can go up a little bit, down a little bit, but pretty much Washington is on the back end of returning production after the spring. And this is something that I've picked up from you and I learned from you. So shout out to you, bro. And look, that matters in college football, whether you want to, admit that or not. Return of production matters in some cases, and especially when you got a decent head coach. But look, don't expect Washington to come out and just run the Big Ten. It's gonna be a tough out up there on the Big Ten West. And like I said, I put the disclaimer out before I started. It's just the expectations of what these teams are supposed to do this year. That's it. That's all I'm saying. And that's it. All right. So, but I'm gonna move on to Missouri. Missouri. All right. I already put the disclaimer up, so I'm not going to keep repeating the same disclaimer out. But with Missouri, they are on my list. Like I said, just none other, just because of that. I can't pronounce the last name of that coach. What is it? Help me out here, bro. Drinkwitz. Is that how you pronounce it? Eli Drinkwitz.
Oh, you're talking about, I think, Eli Drinkwitz. Yeah.
Okay, Drinkwitz. All right. Okay. So, like I said, they are on there because of the expectations. But however, the SEC is going to be so competitive this season in particular, to me, and I said this earlier, we both said it earlier, I think a 2-win team can still win the SEC. The SEC is going to be so competitive. It's spread out a little bit to me. You got just off top of my head right now, you got Missouri, Ole Miss. Don't sleep on Oklahoma out there. Please don't do that, because them Sooners will get you up. All right. Kentucky gonna be bringing it. I think so. Georgia, Bama. Did I mention Texas A&M may upset you? You know what I'm saying? Let's not sleep on them. Let's not, So Florida might be one of them teams that you don't want to sleep on in the SEC. So what I'm saying in closing here on Missouri, because I really don't have too much bad to say about them, is just that the expectations for them are just through the roof, man, period. And a 2-win team can still win the SEC, but look, they just overrated right now. Don't say they're going to win just because they got depleted Ohio State in the bowl game. All right. Now, Louisville. Now, I seen that you put Louisville was interesting, South Coast Kane, and shout out to you. I put Louisville, like I said, Louisville being up there, man. Look, Louisville is just another one of those teams, like I said, grabbing the running back from Ohio. Yeah, everybody's just like, oh, they're going to run the ACC. The ACC is getting totally disrespected by a lot of people. And this is true. I just came from the barbershop earlier, just a couple hours ago. And the barbers was talking about the ACC trash. What you think about that, Chubbs? They call me Chubbs. Everybody out here call me Trucking, but I had to put the Y on the end to be unique, so nobody had the name. But that's what they call me, Chubbs. Hey, yo, what you thinking, Chubbs? I'm like, man, y'all sleep on the ACC. I need to put some respect on their name out here. Facts. Put some respect on them cats' name out there. Don't be sleeping on them. Yeah, they got some squads out there, but look, Louisville, I think that the fan base and everybody else out there just is overrating them. That's why I put them up here, and that's all I got to say about them. And all right, so I'm gonna get to getting into some things later on, but that's why they up there. I'm trying to keep it moving on. But they, what's their head coach's name over there at Louisville, bro? Help me out here, Jeff
Brown. Jeff Brown.
Okay, yeah. I mean, like, look, they did, and look, they finished. What was it, 7-1 in the conference last year, just off top, something like that. 7-1 with like 10-4.
They missed out on playing They didn't have to play UNC. They didn't have to play Clemson.
Right.
They played Florida State until the championship game. So,
right.
I mean, they pretty, obviously they played us. I mean,
they lost to USC in the Holiday Bowl, right? Right.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. So, I mean,
they lost to Kentucky.
The Missouri thing is kind of interesting to me because, like you say, you're looking at it based on what their fans. So,
right.
Are their fans? Were their fans expecting a playoff berth?
Well, I listened to a couple of different, college football shows, and a lot of people are high on Missouri, like to the point where they're like Missouri. And I'm just like, look into how the SEC's built. I'm not saying that, and I put the disclaimer out there. I'm not overrating them because I don't think that they're not going to have a successful year. It's just pretty much just saying, look, calm down, take what you're going to get this year. The SEC is tough. There might be a 2-win team can win the SEC, but I got this feeling about Missouri that's just not good. Even with everybody, they got Luther Burton coming back, the QB, the coach. Look.
Unlock the door.
I just don't think it's gonna turn out this way. It's just one of them feelings I got. It's just a truck and chubby intuition I got, bro. Nothing other than that. You know what I mean? Seeing how everybody's hyping this team up to do some damage, and it may not go that way. Because I mean, let's just talk realistic. If you take Luther Burton out of the equation off that offense, then what does that offense look like? Because Cody Schrader ain't there running the ball no more.
And he had that's what's going to be interesting to see who his replacement was. Because I had on one of my fantasy teams, and the crazy thing about it was like for the entire back half of the season, like he was dealing with like a quad injury, but he was still out there
killing him.
$125, $150, $170. So
their offensive line was crazy.
Yeah, that's going to be a big thing. And then obviously we saw them in a bowl game against Ohio State, which, in my honest opinion, had to be one of the more boring bowl games. I have to say.
It was defense.
Yeah, so I mean, but the thing about Missouri, I will give them credit for this. They did come to the SEC, and they did turn out they won the SEC East their first 2 years there. So, but I think it's a little different now. They're recruiting a little bit better. But yeah, I agree with you on that. It's like it's some teams in the SEC that's like, with the addition, like you say, Texas and Oklahoma, the way Ole Miss has done what they done. Brian Kelly's gonna be Brian Kelly.
Yeah.
Caleb Moore's there. Kirby Smart, who looks like the elder statesman now. When you really look at it, he's one of his tenured coaches in the SEC right now. So
be in the building. What up?
So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how what they do. But no, I'm with you on that. Like playoff, I can't see it.
Just take your time. That's all I'm saying. Just take your time, Missouri fans. And I've been saying that a lot lately to a lot of people because you get your expectations up as a fan, and because what are they supposed to do this year? Okay, let's just say that Missouri, the success they had last year. So, in order to have a good season, they got to repeat the same thing they did last year or better, right? So. And that's for all these teams on here. And that's what I said. It's not because it's just the expectations of my overrated teams. They can get, you know what I mean? Or they're going to, so Washington fans and everybody talking about Washington and Jad Fish and what Jad Fish can do, taking over this new program. They're ranked 130th out of 134 returning production on that team with 40%. Like, or they going to do exactly what they did last year, become a runner-up in the national title game? Probably not. So You know what I mean? That's overrated, because they just can't do that. In Missouri, where do they go? They have to be a finalist in order to be better or the same thing. So, I mean, that's all I'm saying here. No, it's not really a diss. It's just simple overrated. Like, just hold your expectations down because it's, I mean, try to anyway. Just be realistic with these teams because they got to do what they did last year or better. And look, Louisville's just unpredictable. I mean, look, I'm from Pittsburgh, but look, when you lost to our college team, I mean, I'm gonna call it what it is. We ass. Our college team is ass. But to lose to us, and shout out to the beat though, but I mean, and they smacked Louisville, like exposed Louisville. What was it, like 30, 38, 21 or something like that? It was the final score. Smack Louisville. But all right, man, we're going to move on, man, so you can give your underrated teams, man, get some excitement going on up in here real quick, you dig? Ooh.
It might pull my card for this one.
Nah, they ain't going to pull your card, dog.
At the end of the day, I'm a college football fan first, right? Been kind of looking at some of the stuff Florida's been doing. Again, like I said, we got them first game of the season, playing, going up there to play. And I'm just kind of looking at it because obviously we're going to make jokes, right? We're going to make jokes about the Mertz Mafia. I call Billy Napier G5 Billy. Like, we're going to let it fly. But looking at it from a team perspective, and I said this on my guy Coach Hayes' show, and I said that the thing of it is that we can look at the schedule, but are we really looking at the roster? And I think most people feel like Florida is going to be a team. When you look at their schedule, like they have like one of the most brutal schedules, like probably in the modern era. Like they have a murderer's row. I don't know if I can say that word on here, but they have a monster schedule. You know what I mean? But I may actually feel like they could win 7 games.
Ooh.
Now, it's not gonna be they're not winning the first game of the season. So let's get that understood right now. They're not winning the first game of the season. But going back and looking at what Graham Mertz did, I believe he tossed about 20 touchdowns, had less than 10 interceptions. Obviously, they lost ETN. This is the 3rd year because I think one of the things that kind of clouds the whole overall situation is the fact that, first of all, I don't feel like they should have fired Dan Mullen, but I'm not going to sit up here and argue that. But I do think they have a nice team, and I just didn't pick them because they picked up Kamari McLean either. I think they have a nice young team. And to be honest, I mean, for what they have or what they didn't have in terms of how devoid that I'm using Kane fan logic here. How Dan Mullen left the program in terms of devoid of talent. To me, I think if they've gone 6-7 the past 2 years, right, and you've had to play the University of Georgia every year, you've had to play Missouri or Kentucky and things like that, I could actually see them. Well, not 5-7 because they haven't gone to a bowl game, but I think they can make a bowl game this year, right? I wouldn't be surprised with a bowl victory for them to be on the fringe of winning about 7 games, or maybe even 8. Just depends on how the cookie crumbles. Because with the way things are now, injury, you get hot, depending on how things go. Again, I was just looking at, obviously because we played in the first game, so I was just kind of looking at their staff. So I see they hired as a defensive assistant, the defensive coordinator Billy Napier had while he was at his previous job. I was kind of looking at his resume. It looks pretty solid. Nothing that's just out of this world, but it looks pretty solid. They got a young defensive coordinator, defensive coach that they hired. I think he was the DB coach at Washington. I think they say you gotten like 8 guys drafted. Now, obviously, resume doesn't look as good as Corey Raymond, but again, being a Kane fan, sometimes the best resume isn't always the best fit because some guys, and this is not the Corey Raymond, but some guys may be best when they are in ideal situations, and some guys may be best when it's time to try to kind of build it. And
touch on that a little bit. What's the ideal situation? Just touch on that a little bit, just to explain to a casual what an ideal situation would be. A quick example.
I mean, like I take Corey Raymond for example, right? And again, like I say, I always try to look at things in perspective. Well, not perspective, but I try to look at things, from a chronological standpoint. Corey Raymond was not the defensive back coach when LSU was being built. He was he became a defensive back coach after LSU had been built, and so they were already a pipeline or a dream school. That's a phrase that people still use. They're already a dream school for a lot of high-profile players. So obviously Corey Raymond probably very relatable to those young men, and he was able to get them to commit because, for one, you're in the SEC, you're one of the best teams in the SEC, and y'all had some good defensive backs before Corey Raymond got there, and he just continued on that particular legacy. So I think some guys being in an ideal situation, and not to turn this into a Miami thing, but I mean, we had some coaches on our first staff that probably were more adept or at that point in their career that's like, I've done the rebuilding thing. I've done that. I'm not necessarily trying to, do that again. I'm more so when I need to be in a win now situation. I'll take this check. I'll take the check, no doubt. But more so, I'd rather be in a more ideal situation. So that's kind of how I look at Florida. You know what I mean? And again, it's just that, it's just that third year. Again, like I said, I have to be a football fan first. I can't let my fandom, be the end all. And they just picked up a nice receiver, I believe, from Arizona State. So they have some weapons. The Eugene Wilson guy who they're in love with. So I think they offensively they should be better. Defensively, I don't necessarily know, but I do think that Florida is an underrated team. They have a brutal schedule, but I think if they are able to pull out 7 games in this particular schedule, maybe 8, depending on how depending on how it falls, that would be a phenomenal accomplishment.
Yeah, it would.
Right?
Yeah, it would.
But and this is gonna be a segue to my second team. If they fall flat on their face, I see the head coach of my second underrated team being a hot candidate for that job. I love Kenny Dillingham. Was a co-offensive coordinator with Mike Norvell at Florida State, was able to do some great things. Went over there to the University of Oregon with Dan Lanning, helped transform Bo Nix into the 7th overall pick in the draft this past draft.
Yeah. Bo Nix. Left
there, went to Arizona State. All the quarterbacks got hurt. Like every quarterback got hurt. And they still were in pretty much every one of their games. Now again, you can't give all of the praise to the head coach. You got to look at it from the staff standpoint. But that is, to me, that is a good mark for him.
Yeah, they got a good program going on over there.
Yeah, because it's like you're a first time head coach, and you went to a program that they weren't in the dweller, in the cellar, because obviously, Herm Edwards, they had a nice little staff over there. Got into some trouble. Antonio Pierce, who's the head coach of my Raiders, was the defensive coordinator over there for a short time over there. So, but the work that he's done has been, they're doing a great job. And like I said,
great job.
I think he would be a
great
candidate.
job.
But I think Arizona State is going to be a team that is going to be, they're gonna make some noise. And I think it's gonna be because Kenny Dillingham, this will be the second year. Whatever quarterback they have, obviously Rashada, he transferred.
You got a question. Hi, LMV. What's up? What's going on? You got a question from QB. He said, does he have an alpha QB? Go ahead and answer the question, man.
No. I know what they doing. I know what they doing. We're gonna talk about all that tomorrow on
Tomorrow,
Canes Roundtable.
Canes Roundtable. All right.
They gonna love the title of the show. They gonna love the title.
So you gonna love it. Y'all make sure y'all tuning in, man, to the Canes Roundtable, man. Tomorrow, man. You gonna bring that up? You gonna answer that? What up, Daryl Page? What up? What's going on? What's good? Max in the building. Everybody up in there. Hey, yo, look. So, what's your last for Kansas, man? I like that pick though. I like that pick with Arizona State. I like that. I do. I think they being slept on. What's up with Kansas?
Yeah, I remember I was at a hotel because my truck was in the shop and I was sitting there watching the game, and like Devin Neal was going bananas. Like he was going crazy. Like I was having a chat with somebody. I was like, bro, this is what's over here in Kansas. Like, bro, over here in Kansas. So I was like, bro, I didn't even know he was giving it up like that. Yeah, so like, they got a good head coach again. Another like look how I'm giving Florida backhanded compliments. Again, fall flat on the face. There goes another coach that probably could go over there and help the Gators.
You think so?
I'm just but no, all jokes aside, Kansas is the second favorite, or the third favorite, I believe. Yeah, third favorite behind Kansas State and Utah to win the Big 12. And I just think, to me, that's a slap in the face. Again, it's even bigger slap in the face that Oklahoma State is not the favorite to win it. But about it. But I do think that Kansas is in a prime position, right? The work that they've done in the short period of time that they've been over there, has been phenomenal. I think them being able to keep a running back who quite possibly could have left and got a big bag at any of these other premier universities. I think that's a telling point that those guys believe that there's something going on over there that's good. And I do think that Kansas will be a team. Now, I'm not saying they well, you know what? I have to say it because if you win the Big 12, you get an automatic bid in the playoffs. So Kansas, hey, listen, don't be surprised you see the Kansas Jayhawks in the playoffs.
Man, all right. Bold prediction. I like that. I like them bold predictions. So this is, before we get on up out of here, I'm going to give y'all my underrated. These are my underrated teams in college football. Go ahead, get your laughs out right now. Get them out because y'all know how I do it. Yeah. But anyway, Baylor. All right, so we're going to start with Baylor, man. Baylor under Dave Aranda, right? Is that how I pronounce it? Did I pronounce it right? Did I get it? Aranda, don't matter. All right, yeah. So obviously we know they was 2-7 last year in the conference, 3-9 overall. They got to get better than that, right? They have to be better than that. There's a lot of people out there that's expecting them to be exactly where they were last year in the Big 12. That is not going to happen this year with Baylor. It ain't. I'm so huge on DeQuan Finn. I talk about DeQuan Finn so much, man.
You talk about it. You love him.
I do, man, because I don't think he got the chance to showcase his talents against a Power 5 team just yet. Like, the way that he plays the game, and like now he gets this chance to prove himself. I hope that he proves himself right, you know what I mean? And like, so they ain't bragging, Truck and Chubby said this, but DeQuan Finn coming, man. He definitely coming. A kid from Toledo. He played over there with Quinyon Mitchell, one of the best cornerbacks in college. He was the best cornerback. He was the first cornerback pulled off the board. DeQuan Finn was thrown against him up at Toledo. Let's talk about it. The kid know how to ball. 6'2" from Detroit. I know y'all got to know the name by now because I talk about him like every other show. But anyhow, they said there was some kind of thing going on with the two quarterbacks up there. Sawyer Robinson, I believe the kid's name is, and you got DeQuan. But look, you got Pendergrass running the rock, Reese. They about to do something. They got to be better than what they were last year, and they are going to ruin a lot of seasons. Them making a bowl game it's an upgrade. It's an upgrade. Now, I'm not saying that sitting here saying Baylor are going to go to the college football playoff. They're going to win 9, 10 games in this season. No, I'm saying that they're going to go to a bowl game. I believe that strongly, and they're going to upset a lot of people out there that picking against them. They're probably going to upset one of the top teams in the Big 12 this year with the play of Daquan Finnock quarterback. I'm telling y'all that right now. And I think we seen, in my opinion, this is just my opinion here. This is just me speculating on this. The wide receivers we seen leave and jump into the portal from Baylor, I believe that's happening only because of the uncertainty at quarterback. Some guys want Daquan Finn to play, but I guess they were saying during the spring or whatever, it was just rumors. I don't know it to be true, but I got to tell y'all what it is. The quarterbacks didn't know what it was. So that's why you seen RJ Martinez jump in the portal with the other receivers that just jumped in there. The only two that actually stayed after that, I believe, was Sawyer Robinson and Daquan. And I think there's another guy that got upgraded, but I don't think they were going with RJ Martinez. But look, there might be a couple different packages. The 2 running backs they got are well enough to run the ball right now. And they're really not, look, they're pretty solid organization under Dave, you know what I'm saying, or Randa, whatever you pronounce his last name. To me, I think they're going to do a lot better, and I think they're underrated. So yeah, they're definitely one of the teams to watch out for to me. All right. And Cal, Garrett Green, not Garrett Green, they put West Virginia. I get those colors mixed up sometimes so much. But look, Cal, look, Jaden Ott, he coming back. He's coming back. They got a rookie running back. Can't remember his name. Help me out there, bro. He was going off. Look, Cal is gonna be all right. They can't do much worse than what they was last year. And to be honest, Cal really wasn't as bad as a lot of people thought they were in the Pac-12. They really weren't. Fun, it's like some things. What are they under? Justin Wilcox, right? That's their head coach over there at Cal, I believe. Help me out there. Justin Wilcox. Okay, Justin Wilcox is their head coach, right? They was 4-5 in the conference. Look, 6-7 overall. The 2 games that I really want to point out to y'all, and I know I'm picking and choosing on what games, but in the Pac-12, UCLA had NFL talent on that defense. They were pretty good last year. I believe they underachieved. If you ask me, to be honest, UCLA did. They absolutely dominated UCLA. Cal did 33-7, absolutely dominated them. Took them to the schoolyard. You know what I mean? And then USC, they only lost to USC last year. It was a 1-point game, 49-50, something like that, 48-49, something. It was a 1-point game. Y'all correct me in the comments with that, but it was a 1-point game. They lost to them. They beat Stanford. They lost to Texas Tech, but those I don't know if those
50, huh? 50, yeah, it was 1 point, 50-49.
Okay, yeah, 1 point, right. And look, they coming to the ACC. A lot of people just like, oh, Cal, man, here they come. They ain't gonna do too much. But look, they gonna have either the same exact season as they had in the ACC or better. And I think they're a good ad for the ACC. They just not one of them teams that you go in there and sleep on. They're an underrated team to me just because of that fact, because people sleep on them. Now, moving on to my last one, last but not least, I must talk about them, Michigan State. And I know some people out there, y'all gonna say, damn, Trucking, why would you say Michigan State? This might got some of y'all confused out there, right? Why Michigan State? Michigan State, they look, they're 73 out of the 134 teams with returning production. And you could say that's roughly 60%. Cal got their 41. I know we talking about something else, but look, they got 60% of their shit coming back. They lost a ton of people to the portal. Some people say they're portal losers or not, but you got to remember, everybody who's jumping in the portal this late after spring ball are probably down on the depth chart, correct? So they're losing people, but they're not losing a lot of their starters, okay? And I must remind y'all that. Now, they got their head coach coming over from Oregon, John Smith, as that guy. I like John Smith and what he did over at Oregon State last year. Not Oregon. I gotta say Oregon State, but Oregon State. Yeah, right. I like what Oregon State did under him, man. Under John Smith, they were a tough team. To me, If DJ Ugly Game ain't there, they win more. That's all I'm saying. Because look, for real. If Ugly Game ain't there, bro, like you got Damian Martinez in the backfield, right? You playing. Who was they playing last year, man? Somebody help me out in the chat, bro. They was playing Arizona State. They was playing Arizona. They was playing Arizona Jadfish. They was playing the Wildcats. And the score was they lost to them by 3 points, 24-27. But if y'all could remember, Damian Martinez had like 18 carries, 80 something yards, somewhere in there. I just off top. And you can compare him to dominating that game. They had no answer for Damian Martinez. I've had no answer for him, but they kept wanting to put the game in DJ Ugly Gamey's hands. They kept wanting to put the ball game in his hands for some reason. I do not know, because and I know the reason, because Noah Fivita and McMillan was killing them. That connection was killing them, and they were trying to say, okay, let's pass. I do not know why John Smith got into that match. I guarantee you this. I will bet on this. If somebody was able to ask John Smith if he could have that game back, would he have put the ball in Damian Martinez's hands? I guarantee you he get 100%. I should have just ran with Martinez through the whole game. They lost by 3 that game, but look, they should have had a way better record. And that just goes to show how highly I'm thinking of John Smith going over to Michigan State. The expectations of them, look, it ain't that high, right? He's taken over a program that was absolutely just last in the Big Ten, but they're going to come in and people overlooking them because of all the hype out there on a lot of the media. They're transfer portal losers, everybody they lost. He's a good head coach. He knows how to build toughness. The Big Ten is built on toughness. They got their QB. They got their backs. Watch out for Michigan State under John Smith. They're an underrated team. They will put up some wins. And before I go ahead and on out of here and close out, the Oregon Beavers, right? Back in November, they only lost to the national champion runner-ups by 2 points, 20-22, under John Smith. If he had a better quarterback last year, they're doing a lot better than me. That's all I'm saying and closing out. But look, Michigan State, y'all, they're underrated. Do not get caught up in all that media, that mainstream media hype with this team. They got a good head coach, a great staff over there, great tradition up in Michigan State, great fans, and they're going to be a lot better. They're going to be a lot better. Let's just say that. Now, I want to ask you a question. What are you thinking about Noah Fivita, bro? What do you think about that hookup, Noah Fivita and McMillan, bro? Because I've been seeing some videos with McMillan doing some crazy-ish and Fivita. Like, do you think that Noah Fivita is one of the best quarterbacks in college football? Where would you put him?
I mean, he got to be. I mean, they popped on the scene. That connection. I mean, and he still got the other guy. What is Cowan? So, I mean, he got like 2 weapons. So, I mean, they're gonna be nice.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're gonna be nice.
Yeah, I think so too. I think they were being close to being on my underrated list. Also, I believe Arizona was, but seeing the season they had last year, it was just like, how could I put them on the underrated list? Because the expectations of them doing what they doing, but. I don't know, man. What you think about my underrated teams, man? I know you think something of them. I know you got something. That's why I sent you the list. I said, let me send them the list because I know he's gonna critique. Go ahead and give it to me.
Right. I'm gonna tell you what's crazy about the Michigan State thing, right? I'm gonna tell you what's crazy. Because I found this radio show that I listened to on YouTube, and the guys that Michigan State alum.
Okay.
So I absolutely love their show. So it was like I listened to their show, so it was like I was following Miami, and then I'm like getting Michigan State news. So I'm like, I kind of like fell in love with Michigan State, even though they came down to the crib and put foots to us, in 2021. But there's nothing there.
All right.
And old Mel Tucker situation, but I like Michigan State. That's a great pickup. Nate Carter is still there. Nate Carter, statistically, didn't have the best season, but obviously Michigan State didn't really have a good, a good season at all. But like you said, the head coach they got, I think they're going to run the ball. I think Nate Carr's going to have a breakout year, probably over 1,000 yards or something like that. And he got his quarterback, Aiden Childs.
Yeah.
Come up, and people are very high on Aiden Childs. So it's going to be interesting to see how all of that plays out. And I think, again, like you say, from an underrated standpoint, because they won 4 games last year, right?
That's
so
it.
they probably around the same type of win total. So, again, yeah, it is underrated because we watched Northwestern go from winning 1 game to winning around 8 games. So it can happen. It can't a quick break happen like that. Cal, again, a team that I've looked at similar to Florida because we played them this year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm with you. They're not as bad as they look on paper. Again, I have to take and I take them off quite often. I take my orange and green glasses off, and I look at it. They have underrated. They have one of the best running backs in college football, and Jaden Ott. He's just a sophomore. He's returning. Their quarterback, according to PFF, because again, what I've realized is people use PFF when it supports an argument, but when it doesn't support an argument, they want to say, "Oh, well, you use PFF."
Man.
So listen, I'm gonna take a page out of their book. I'm gonna use PFF to support an argument. Based on PFF, they have one of the best returning quarterbacks in college football. He was just a freshman last year, so obviously he's going to get better. Justin Wilcox. Overall record, not that good. But again, in this day and age, if you can hit on a couple of portal pieces, most notably, if you got that quarterback and you can put a little defense together, I think Cal could be an interesting team. And I'm saying 11-1 for my Hurricanes. And that 1 game, to me, is between Cal because of the road trip, and I don't think Cal is as bad as people say. And like I say, I'm rocking with Syracuse. I love my dog, Friend Brown.
Okay.
I don't think Cal is as bad as people say they are. I think they are be a little bit better because, like I said, the quarterback is going to be better this year. They already think he's pretty good. So it's going to be interesting to see that. And then Baylor, obviously, kind of fell in love with Baylor too. Obviously, all the stuff that transpired, I hate that happened, off the field a couple of years ago. But they were just a fun program, and I really thought that Dave Aranda would have a lot more success. He has some early success, but I think I agree with you. I do think that they will be better this particular year, because they pump so much money into that program.
They do. They got the bread.
Y'all can't be bad again. Like literally, they built a stadium because of the little short-term success that they had. Like they got a whole bunch of stuff because of their little short run that they had. Like they were on the doorsteps of national championships and playoffs, right? So they want to get back to that. So Dave Aranda, I'm sure they're giving you everything possible to make it happen, and I think he gets back. But if you don't, hey, you have to know, dog. Well, I can't say you have to know because I was kind of looking at it. He got a huge buyout, like crazy. But people in Texas, man, they treat money like water, man. They feel like
they got it. That oil money, they got it.
We got bread. But bro, I love your list better than I like mine. I really do. I really do. I like it. But you know what? I could be biased. I'm biased because the teams that I picked, I don't really have any type of affinity to them.
Oh yeah, I didn't mention
the three that you picked. I've looked at them. Like I told you about the Michigan State.
Yeah,
I followed them all last year. Cal, I've looked obviously because we played them. I've looked at what they got, and like I said, I like Baylor because I like college football. You know what I'm saying? So I love your list better than I like mine because
that's crazy.
I really, to be honest, I don't really care. I don't really care. I like Kenny the other hand, but I don't really care about Arizona State. I could care less again about the Florida Gators. And then Kansas, I mean, I ain't cared about them like like Kansas came on my radar way back when like Akeem Talib got drafted. So it's like, oh, so they play football. I thought they were just a basketball school. So they actually got there too. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care about them. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
Any long term like stuff that I'm invested to, like, oh well, you know what I'm saying? But like
then, I don't think a lot of people thinking, bro, that Baylor got 79% of their returning production too, bro. After the spring. This is now the returning production totals I was spitting out or after spring. After the spring portal closed. I'm not spitting out before. You know what I mean? This is after the spring portal closed. I should have put that disclaimer out earlier, but it's out right now for the people who still tuned in. Like, so they look. I don't know, man. I'm just all I'm saying is if you got Baylor on your schedule, they might be ruining your season, dog. That's all I'm saying.
I'm gonna say this. The Big 12 could be like what the Pac-12 was this past year.
Mm-hmm.
Where you got about 4, maybe 5 teams, double digits. Like, it's a fight. Like I say, Oregon State, multiple, 10 wins. Washington 10 wins, over 10 wins. Oregon, Arizona came out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? So like the Big 12 really could be like that, where you could have a situation where you have 3 or 4 teams that got 10 or more wins, and like they like overall they could make an argument.
I don't think there's going to be one team undefeated in college football this whole season. I don't think there's going to be one. That's just me. That's just what I say.
When you say that, are you just talking about from the power conferences, or you just talking about the joint?
I'm talking about from the power conferences.
Okay.
The power conferences, I don't think that there's going to be a undefeated team, and I think that our national champion this year will have a loss. That's what I'm saying. So,
who's your other prediction for the national championship?
For the national championship, it's too early to get at. I ain't gonna get at. I'll be giving some crazy takes right now.
Yeah. Right now, put it on the table.
Right now, putting it on the table.
Okay,
let's go Longhorns.
I can't. Homer glasses aside.
Homer glasses aside. Homer glasses aside. All right. So if I'm picking a team that ain't the Longhorns behind me. If I'm picking a team,
I'm just saying me. I'm talking about taking my orange green glasses off. But I gotta go with the Oregon Ducks.
Ooh, that's a great pick. That is a great pick.
I don't care about Ohio State. I don't care about Michigan.
That's a great pick.
I go with the Ducks.
That's a great pick because they got it. Because the Ducks, I think they about to show the Big Ten something totally different this year. And people just gonna have to catch up. They're gonna say, I ain't gonna catch them with their jaw on the ground. They gotta pick it back up because I that's what I think, man. Because I just think they're going to do that, man. Look, they got a lot going on up there in Oregon. And you're hearing about it a lot more around these parts because where I'm at is heavy Penn State, Ohio State country. I am in between both. Bro, that's all I hear. Ohio State, Penn State. Ohio State, Penn State. You might catch. You ain't never seen no Miami of Ohio fan. I don't even know where that's at, and I'm up this way. I don't know. I'm telling you, bro. I don't know where that's at. I can't tell you where the Miami of Ohio is at. I don't know. Like Miami of Ohio, like I don't know, I couldn't tell y'all. So
it's in Oxford, Ohio, wherever this is.
Oxford, Ohio.
Like it's like
Oxford, Ohio. That's a place where you ain't finding me at. So when you gotta go there to get your running back, it's nice. I'm just saying, I'm just playing. Let me go. I ain't gonna start on that, man. Hey man, look, I enjoyed the show. I always enjoy the shows, man. I enjoy everybody coming through in the chat, man. Shout out to South Coast Kane. You done rolled the whole thing out with us, dog. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Shout out to LNV, baby. She came through. I ain't seen you in a minute, home girl. Here goes virtual hug. Girl, I ain't seen you in a minute. Shit, I ain't seen you since I was a jit out here in the game. At least that's what it feel like. She said, Chubbs, how you don't know where the real Miami is? I ain't no real. I know where Miami That's crazy.
Right
I mean, my quarterback Big Ben came from there. I know about that, but I mean, I don't know about that else. I mean, shout out to QB came through in the building. Daryl Page came through for a minute. Daryl Page talking sports with Daryl Page. I make sure y'all go and check these people out. Go check out South Coast Kane on his channel. Go check out Shad on his channel. IMAX came through. I'm shouting out, trying to shout out everybody who came through and showed us some love, man, in the chat. My aunt Mo Baines came through and showed me love. What's up, auntie? I love you out there. I don't really care about the chat too much, man, but I appreciate when y'all come through, y'all spam us, y'all show love, man. For real, man. We deserve it. We be out here working. Y'all know, boy, be working, man. But look, praise y'all, man. Thank y'all. I'm about to chop up this video. I'm gonna chop it up in segments and everything, get those ready, get those out to y'all. And look, y'all have a blessed weekend, man. Do not do nothing I wouldn't do. That ain't saying much. But for real, love y'all, man, out there, man. Y'all take care. Enjoy the evening, man. Y'all know how we giving it up out y'all.
Want to see Truck and Chubby live with co-host Shad? Tune in at Fans Point of View, Saturday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 3:30 p.m. Pacific Time. But in the meantime, in between time, enjoy the content. Don't forget to hit your notification bell for all updates. Thank you for watching.